Well, happy Monday. This is Doug Rogers with Remax Coastal Properties here. And I normally say beautiful Destin, Florida, but unfortunately, it looks like there might be a storm brewing. So, what I want to do is take a few minutes and just give you some thoughts on evacuating versus hunkering down and staying put. And if you're new to the Emerald Coast, you're going to face this decision ever so often, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's going to depend on your specific station in life and your ability to get out and that sort of stuff. I'm also licensed in Louisiana, so we see this a lot in Louisiana as well. So it works for kind of both markets. But let's say a storm has been forecast and it's on the way, and we don't know right where it's going to hit. So here's some thoughts on when you make the decision to evacuate or stay put. You know, the first thing is you got to decide when do you want to leave. So the longer you wait, the less likely you are to do an unnecessary evacuation because these storms will wobble, a little bit. And so I hear people complain all the time. Well, look, Doug, we drove all the way to Atlanta, and the storm didn't end up within 300 miles of our house, so we wasted that effort. Well, not really. You made a decision that was best for you and your family, and you followed through, and thank God there's no storm damage to come back to. So you had a free weekend, not free. You had a trip to Atlanta. So, if you wait too late and then decide to evacuate, this happened to my family and Hurricane Andrew. We were living in Lafayette at the time, Louisiana, and we waited to the last minute. The forecast models weren't near as good as they are today, and we left at the last minute. And we got stuck on Interstate 49, and what should have been an hour and a half trip to Alexandria north ended up being, I think, 8 hours, and there was no rooms available. Even when we got there. So if you do evacuate, it helps if you have someone to go to, even if they seem out of the way. So let's say you're in Destin and you have a buddy in Birmingham. Well, maybe you don't need to go all the way to Birmingham to get away from the storm, but if you know you're going to Birmingham and you have a place to stay, that's better than just hitting the interstate, going north and praying there's a room at the end, because these rooms will fill up very quickly. And so, and then deciding where to evacuate, there's an old saying, you hide from the wind and you run from the water. So if you're in a Gulf front condo, there's going to be water, lots of water. And once the storm passes, there might not be livable conditions for, depending on how direct a hit we get. It might be 6 to 8 weeks before there's running water, air conditioning, those sorts of things, and all sorts of storm cleanup. And the authorities, they really prefer not having a whole bunch of people on the island they have to support while they do the cleanup and getting basic services back. So, if you do decide to evacuate, gas up your car, gas it up. Well, I'm just going to, Valdosta, Georgia, so I've got plenty of gas. You might not. That might be bumper to bumper traffic. You might be sitting there moving, 2 miles an hour, and you run out of gas. So top off those tanks. Again, you don't know, those sites along the way, they'll start to run out of fuel too, and so you don't know if they're going to have gas for you down the road. So just top up the gas. Carry as much cash as possible. Cash will be king. You would hate to get to a place 2 hours down the road, their power's out, and they can't take debit or credit cards, and you have $4 in your wallet. So carry as much cash as you can. And before you leave, if you own the property, you may want to take some video footage, inside, outside, that sort of stuff. Take some still photos as well, and really document everything you have. That'll help your insurance company on the way back. But who cares about that? So all we're concerned with in this video is just make the decision to stay or go. And don't feel bad either way. I will tell you, I've ridden out hurricanes before, and I remember, taking that last glass of iced tea that I was going to have for about 7 days and thinking, boy, I should have left. And there are other times I left and I thought, boy, that was the dumbest thing in the world. So, just make the decision that's right for you and your family and your situation. And let's all be in prayer, not just that the storm doesn't hit us, that it doesn't hit somebody else. And so wherever it does hit, hopefully they get back on their feet, and we can certainly help them with that after the storm. We can give our donation and our time and whatnot get everyone back together. We're Americans. It's a political year. We're tearing each other apart. Storms like this, though, tend to bring us back together and remind us what makes us great. So go out there and have a wonderful day and keep watching those storm updates.